to my channel. So today I'm going to do 3 different looks with the Singe Beauty palette, the Galactic Visitor. Obviously I do not have her newest palette and I will not be picking it up, but I did pick this up when it released on Black Friday and I've been playing around with it obviously several months now. It's been rolled into projects and whatnot, but I wanted to kind of push myself, try to do 3 different kind of quite different looks, and I think I've done that. I obviously have used this palette before, so it's not a first impressions video at all, but after going into this palette and doing the 3 looks, I actually have some thoughts. I have some thoughts and I will share it at the end, but if you are interested to see what you can do with this palette, here it is, if you're not familiar, then stay tuned because I have some thoughts.
Okay, here is look number 1. So we're going to go into Soul. This is this bright yellow. I really love this, and obviously I'm wearing a yellow top, so I kind of planned this. Not going to lie, I've gone into this yellow before, and I know that I like it. Went into Cowgirl, which is a really nice brown. And let me just say this, these two blended so nicely. This look was effortless. I will say most of the looks, well, there's only 3 looks that you're going to see in this video, but this look and the second look, pretty easy to do, pretty effortless. And this blend, I mean, I just don't sit there blending for ages. Anyway, went into Encounter. This is probably my favorite shade in the palette. And I was trying something here. I didn't know how it was going to be. But do you see that shine? That is just gorgeous. And obviously it does flip a little bluey. There's a little green in there too, to be fair. I mean, in different light, or maybe that's just the yellow underneath. But it was so pretty. Oh, and I was listening to music. Does anyone else listen to music while they do their makeup? It just calms me. Okay, then we went into Come. This was just a good little shade to put in the inner corner. I haven't actually gone into the shade that many times, so I just thought, well, let's just pop it in the inner corner. And then here's the look. So easy, 4 shades, and that is it. Look at that sparkle. Oh my goodness. I love this look. Okay. Second look, I'm not going to lie, it's not like the prettiest look in the world, but it was so easy. And I basically pulled my back the night before. I was feeling horrendous this morning and I also had to go to the dentist. So this was a double whammy for me. So I had to do something really, really, really simple. So I went into the shade In, which is just a very light shade for me, obviously. Went into Peace. So I wanted to create a little bit of a purple. And I think these two blended okay together, and it kind of created like a plummy sort of outer corner. And I wasn't trying to go super deep because I did have to go out and I didn't want to be super vampy. I just wanted my makeup to be pretty light. So I wasn't trying to deepen out the outer corner too much, but obviously still kind of blending it in as best I could. Went into Milky Way. So I really like this. It looks very silver, but actually there are like particles of pink to it. It is such an interesting one. So I thought it would pair really nicely with this sort of purple plummy outer corner that I created. On here just pretty much looks silver, right? But I actually think it worked really nice for this look. And this look is a very, very simple and easy look. As you will see, I don't think I really do much else. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, I did. I went into Beam. Oh yes, Beam in the inner corner. So this had a little bit, obviously, a pop of green in the inner corner, which I think really kind of made the look a little bit more interesting. As opposed, I could have just gone into the Come shade or the the Encounter shade or Space Dust or whatever, one of the other shimmers. But I wanted a pop of the green, so this one. And that's it. Obviously messed it up with my mascara. Not the prettiest look, obviously. Very basic, but for what I needed that day, it just was fine and perfect for me. So I didn't mind it. Okay, yep, listening to music again. Anyway, moving on. Okay, we went into Hoodos, which I haven't gone into yet as of today. So this one, I didn't realize was going to be so peachy, but I love it. I love these peachy tones. So I kind of had a look in mind at first, and then it totally changed as I was doing this makeup look. But put this pretty much in my crease and around the outer corner, and I went into Saucer. So this is obviously just a nice Green Matte. This is quite sheer. I will say I had to pack this on quite a lot. And actually you'll see later on, I had a little bit of an issue with the shade. So I don't know if it's the brush that I'm using, if I did put on my Beauty Bay eye base, but obviously this is laying on top of that other Houdous shade. So I'm not entirely sure what happened with this one. Here it looks fine. It's pretty thin, but it's fine. Went into Infinity. This one I don't think I had gone into, so I wanted to try it. I was doing a little bit of a wing and then I kind of went away from doing that, as you'll see, but started off doing a little bit of a wing, just deepening out the outer corner. Again, I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing. Then I went into Space Dust, and this is really sparkly, really shimmery, very pretty, but you can see there's like, I got quite a lot of fallout from it, so definitely do it before you do your face makeup. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of play around. This is more like a play look, really, because I really, at this point, didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to figure it out. But it was decent. Okay, did my base. I went back into that saucer shade, that green matte, and you'll see in a moment what I mean. Something happened where there was like such a patchiness to it on this eye right here on the right side, which is basically my left eye, if you think about it. Actually, wait, is it my right? I can't, I don't know. But this one just was so patchy, I could not make it work and I couldn't fix it. Even packing it on didn't fix it. So I don't know if that's a me thing or it went over the shimmer. I don't know. Something went wrong there. So I ended up going into Encounter and I put that over the patchiness just so it could look a little bit nicer. I might have done this anyway, regardless of the patchiness, but I wanted to get rid of that patchiness. So I ended up going to this shade, which I went into this shade a lot, obviously, but it is one of my focus shades. Actually, I'm trying to hit pan on it. So I thought, yeah, well, why not? Let's go into it again. And it is definitely a beautiful shade in my opinion. So you can see though, it's very sparkly, this eyeshadow. Okay, also went into the Encounter shade again. Oh no, is this the Beam one? I can't remember what I pointed to. Well, anyway, I put this underneath. I think this is the Encounter shade. And then I went back into Houdous, which was just that peach under the lid. Just a tiny bit of that. And then went into Infinity, just a little bit on the lower lash line. And then I tried to work on a little bit of a wing, but again, I wasn't really happy with that. So I kind of rubbed it off. But that's the end look. And actually, I really like how it ended up. I think it's really pretty, but it just was a nightmare to get there.
Alright, so there we are. This is the final and third look. Honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I had a kind of a vision in mind and then it went off track. I think it turned out okay in the end, but it's not my best look and it's not my favorite look out of the palette by any means. But I do like that it's kind of colorful and a little bit different. So what do you guys think of this palette? Personally, I love the first look. I think the actual the pop of that shimmer was absolutely stunning, and I think this yellow is so delicious and the browns are so good. So definitely a very, very easy look to make with this palette, but it was my favorite out of the three. The second look was also a very, very easy palette, and it was pretty different because what I wanted to do is kind of see, like when I look at this palette, I see yellows and blues, right? And then obviously all this darkness. So for the second look, I really wanted to try to see if I could do something that was more pinky mauve and just light. And I did that. I was really, really happy with it. It's not a typical look that when I look at this palette, it's not a look that I would think that I would make straight away, but you can make looks like that because obviously this leans a lot more maroony, plummy, and so definitely works out in your favor if you want to do something that is not blue. Obviously the first two looks, I did not have any blue. I did pop in blue today. I have done an actual like proper blue look with this palette. I think I did it in a short though, so you'd have to try to find that on my channel. But for this video, I really didn't want to do like an all blue look. That's why I went with something a little bit different today, which like I said, not my favorite, but I kind of wanted to push myself. There's also, I don't think I had used this really dark blue. So I wanted to go into that one. And then I did pop this over the top of it just to add a little bit more of a sparkle to it. And yeah, love some of these shades. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this palette? I like this palette. I really do. I like the formula. I think it's a really good first release for Singe Beauty. I really, really do. I will say this Space Dust reminds me of a cross between Sigma Beauty Shimmers and Odin's Eye. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm not a fan of Sigma Beauty Shimmers or Odin's Eye formula. So I do say that a little bit as a negative. It's a very pretty shade, and it is soft, but it is a little, it's not soft to the touch like in the pan. There's something about it where it definitely reminds me more of one of those, I don't know, it's definitely nicer than Sigma or Odin's Eye. That's, I'll say, I'll give it that, I will. But that one alone, and actually the blue, I think is the same kind of formula. It's not gritty and it's really pretty, but there is it kind of feels gritty when you're swatching it, but the actual shade itself is not gritty, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but it definitely seems to be a little different to Encounter and Beam. I think these are a little bit softer in terms of formula. I think Milky Way is also one of these ones that's a little bit more gritty, but I love this shade. I think it's so interesting. Like the shades themselves are so interesting, but I would say definitely formula-wise, it is really good. It's just not like my favorite compared to other formula I have tried in the past, and that's just what I'm gonna say about it. However, I will say that all of the looks that I have worn with this palette, obviously aside from today, because I just did this so I don't know how long it lasts, but all the shimmers pretty much last on my lids. They don't crease that badly at all. So if you're worried about creasing, I think this is a great palette. Oh, actually another thing that I'll say about Spaces, I know I'm jumping all around, but my thoughts are a little bit scattered. This one had a ton of fallout today when I put it on my lids. So definitely do your eyes first if you don't want a lot of gold fallout, because there was tons of fallout and it's actually very glittery. It's a very pretty shade, but it does look a little glittery. It's like more of those glitter sparkly ones, but it's not glitter particles. It's not like that at all. I'm saying negative stuff. I don't want to say negative stuff, but I'm just trying to be honest with you. This is like my thoughts on the palette. I've had it now since January, so I've had a lot of time to play around with it. I do have one shade in my Pan on Every Palette project. I'm working on this one to hit pan on. And I think at this point I have now, aside from the black shade, I have tried every single shade. There is not a dud shade in here. Like none of these are duds. It's just more of like a preference thing for me. And I think I would definitely be curious to see what are the next releases after the Agate Temptation. I think that's what the newest one is called. I simply just want to pass that one because it is more of a green palette with a pop of red, and it's just not my type of color story, but I definitely will be very interested if she releases something that's more pinky purpley leaning or has more neutral. I mean, she's not a neutral girl. Let's be real, it's Angie here, but just something that's a little bit maybe more cool toned, but she doesn't like cool tone either. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if she will release a palette that is perfect for me, but this one definitely, I do prefer the color story over the newest one, but I'm sure the newest one will have very similar formula, and the formula is good. Like, don't be alarmed of what I said. The formula is good. It's just, I have noticed a couple of them be a little bit like gritty to the touch, and it kind of reminds me of Odin's Eye, some of them. Odin's Eye is super dry to me though, so these are not dry. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but it's just something that I've noticed more so today because I used that blue and that gold today, and I kind of noticed that when I was using it. But otherwise, I'm very pleased with this brand. I have two of her blushes. I also love her eyeshadow brushes as well. I would pick up her face brushes, but they're just a little pricey, so maybe eventually I will pick them up. But you can buy her from Monolith in the EU if you don't want to pay for the shipping and all that. And I'm sure the newest palette will come to Monolith at some point. But yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to see what I thought of this palette. I'm kind of matching the cover today, right? I got like all those colors kind of scattered around. But I wanted to have fun. I think the mattes are beautiful. I will say, like, this shimmer and Beam and Milky Way, outstanding. I love those so much. I think they're so much fun. And the yellow is so good. And I've realized in my collection, I really don't have that many yellows anymore. So it's definitely something that I appreciate having in there, because I do like to wear yellow, like pops of yellow, either in the spring or in the autumn time. So definitely something that I'm very pleased that I have it in my collection. Is it a favorite palette of mine? No. Will it ever be a favorite palette of mine? Probably not, but it's definitely not a palette that I don't dislike. I really do like this palette. And I think, as I said, as a first palette for her brand, I think it was very, very smart, very, very good. And yeah, I like that I was able to do 3 different looks, and I've done multiple other looks with this palette that obviously are not in this video. So it is somewhat versatile, which obviously, if you know me, I like versatility in my palettes. So very pleased so far with everything that I've tried. It's just a few observations here and there. So anyway, let me know if this was helpful or not. I will be doing the Glamshop Rich Romantic palette next as a 3 looks 1 palette. That will probably come live the end of the month, just because I don't have time to do it sooner than that. But that will be coming next, because I know a few of you were interested to see that. But if there are any other palettes in my collection that you really want to see multiple looks with, let me know and I will definitely schedule them in. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope everyone is doing well. Have a good weekend and I will see you all next time. Bye!